Hello everyone, I'm Nadella Puput Erlangga from 5BB class of English Department, State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya, and in this sense I would like to share some information to you about questionnaire, which is one of the tools in collecting data. Alright, in this topic we have 4 subtopics. We are going to talk about the definitions of questionnaire first, and also the types of questionnaire. We are going also to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire, and the last is questions to avoid in questionnaire. Alright, without further ado, we are going to talk about the definitions of questionnaire. What is questionnaire? Questionnaire is a research device or instrument that is built up of a series of questions and other types of items designed to solicit information for analysis. Questionnaire is any written document that provide respondents with a sequence of questions or statements in which they are to respond either by writing their answers or choosing answers that are already existing or given answers. The goal of questionnaire is to collect relevant data from respondents, which can be used for a variety of purposes. It was developed by the Statistical Society of London in 1838. Questionnaire, though versatile, aren't ideal in every situation, especially when you need to understand specific issues. It's not advisable to use the questionnaires to ask specific questions about an object you are still considering. This may lead you to bias and false positives about the feasibility of the product. Instead, questionnaire should be used to collect more general information, qualitative or quantitative data regarding the features and preferences. Alright, that's all about the definitions of questionnaire, and we're going to know about the types of questionnaire. There are 2 types of questionnaire. The first one is exploratory questionnaire. Exploratory questionnaire is used to collect qualitative data which the information can be observed and recorded, but it is not a numerical value. This is also known as unstructured questionnaire. It is used to approximate and characterize. An example of qualitative data would be if someone giving you a feedback about your writing, and they may mention things about the clarity, word choices, and etc. It helps you categorize your writing, but you cannot attach a number to the feedback. And the last one is formal standardized questionnaire. Formal standardized questionnaire, it is used to collect quantitative data which the information is recorded as a count of numerical value. This is also known as structured questionnaire. The data is quantifiable, which means it can be used for mathematical calculations or statistical analysis. In essence, it answers the questions of how much, how many, and how often. Those are the types of questionnaire, and we're going to jump into the next topic, that is about the advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire. We are going to talk about the advantages of questionnaire first. The first advantage is it is inexpensive. Sending out an online questionnaire is one of the cheapest research strategies available, unless you offering some type of incentive or are using ads to get in front of the respondents. There are few costs associated with it. Self-administered questionnaires avoid the need for hiring people to administer it, remove the cost of in-person interviews, and also have versatile distributions method. The second advantage is results coming quickly and larger enrichment. The world moves fast, so one of the most powerful advantages of a questionnaire is the ability to get in the hands of a large group of people quickly. You don't need to start mailing it out and waiting days for it to get to the intended recipient. Instead, you can send an email, post it on your website, or share it on your social media and start getting responses you can use almost instantly. Also, there's no real upper limit to the number of people who can respond to a questionnaire. The third advantage is the result is easy to analyze. The majority of questionnaires are quantitative in nature, which allows for quick analysis of the answers. This is even more important when you have a larger pool of respondents. And the last advantage of questionnaire is can cover all aspects of a topic. This is an overlooked aspect of questionnaires. With them, it's possible to ask 100 questions. Of course, we don't advise this because almost no one will finish an online questionnaire of that length. With that being said, you can ask as many questions and solicit as much detail as you want, and by playing around with the number of questions you ask, but try not to overdo it. Alright, we are going to talk about the disadvantages of the questionnaire. The first disadvantage is little personalizations. Everyone who takes the questionnaire gets, for the most part, the same series of questions presented in the same way. Now, technology is making this better with features like logic branching and answer tiling, so the experience can be personalized a bit more. In the end, it's still limited because there's a predetermined series of questions and the questionnaire can react to open-ended statement. Second one is questionnaire fatigue. Fatigue with your survey as well as the other surveys being sent out by the other researchers. More and more researchers are using questionnaires and people can answer all of them. This results in lower overall response rate to surveys or questionnaires as a whole. Conversely, someone may start your survey but drop off because there are too many questions or the question seems to be irrelevant. You can get rid of the fatigue 100%, but you can reduce it by creating shorter questionnaires and making your question easy to answer. Third one is unanswered questions. Sometimes people will just skip answers or drop off halfway since the questions are online or anything and no one is there to prompt the respondent. This happens fairly often. There is any number of reasons for this, like unclear or confusing questions, irrelevant questions, incomplete answer options, or etc. Making the answer required can help with this, but it is also increase the chance of someone abandoning the questionnaire altogether. And the last disadvantages of questionnaire is improper interpretations of questions. This is why it's so important to choose the questions language carefully. It's easy to misinterpret written questions and give wrong answer or just skip the question entirely. Another thing to consider is that certain words have multiple meanings and with context, a different meaning may be applied. Prevent this by using a simple, direct language in your questions and avoiding jargon. Right, we have known about the disadvantages and also the advantages of questionnaires. The last is we are going to talk about questions to avoid in making a questionnaire. And the first one is hypothetical questions. Hypothetical questions ask a respondent what they would do, think, or feel about situations that may happen in the future. It's asking people to talk about their future actions and behavior which we are notoriously bad at. This kind of questions may give you data that can be used or will skew your overall understanding of the topic. The second one is offensive or embarrassing. Even tough questionnaires can be random anonymous, it's not a good idea to embarrass or offend the correspondent. It may lead them to drop the questionnaire without completing it or giving you poor answers on purpose. Neither one is a good scenario. The third one is extreme positive or negative. You don't want to bias your respondents before they've had a chance to form their own opinion on a topic. If a question is presented as extremely positive or negative, then it may create a bias that should always be avoided. In the end, your data will be skewed. Next is longer and vague reference periods. Reference periods should be clear and preferably shorter. Longer reference period causes recall lapse errors. These errors mislead the research. And the last is questions with calculations. As far as possible, avoid all calculation-seeking questions. Respondents do hesitate to calculate, and there is always possibility of receiving wrong answers. Respondents who cannot calculate also give wrong answers to hide their ignorance, and those who can calculate, they also have a tendency of wrong calculations to exhibit their confidence in calculations. Alright, so we have known about the definitions of questionnaire and also the types of questionnaire. There are two types of questionnaire. We also have known about the advantages and disadvantages of questionnaires, and the last is we have known about the questions to avoid in making questionnaire. By that, it means that the session has over. Right, I would like to say thank you so much for listening to me. I hope this information is informative for you, and have a good day.